I recently went to Branson, Missouri. I'd never even heard of this place, where we picked up two incredibly cool properties. In fact, Vicky Gotra from Toronto picked up these two properties from a Success Reflex he did last month. Success Reflex is when someone comes to my house for 3 days, and I help them afterwards for up to three months or a year, depending on which one you engage in. I basically ride you like a rented mule until you get results. And Vicky got these two incredible deals. One is a hotel, which I'm going to talk about here in the seller call, and number two is a multi-unit RV park, which is also a cash cow. One makes $200,000 a year, the other one makes about $300,000 a year. It's $500,000 a year in passive income for around $500,000 cash up front. So if you were to have $500,000 cash, you would put $500,000 and you would get your money back every single year. Almost like 100% cash on cash return, which is incredible. The stock market doesn't give you that. Banks don't give you that. Pretty much no one gives you that. So enjoy the seller call. It's a great one and explains a lot of the stuff.
The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Hey everybody, welcome to an edition of a seller call. I'm excited to have a great call today. Last week we had some technical difficulties. Hopefully we won't have any at all today. My computer all cleaned up and hopefully it'll sing like it's supposed to. Never a bad thing when your technology fails and crashes. I'm in Branson right now, Branson, Missouri. I've never even heard of the place until recently, where we got Vicky Gotra, who's from Toronto, picked up a couple cool deals here. Visited the hotel, 60-unit hotel in a trailer park. And I'm going to talk about those today and go over the call and go over the deal and go over a whole lot of cool stuff. Busy weekend. We had, things are hopping here in the world of real estate with Daddy Marco and friends. Had a Success Reflex, extremely successful, had $33 million. That's $33 million in real estate that has been negotiated, all at 15 caps or more, and some incredible cash flows. Now, of course, not everything is going to close. It doesn't work that way in the world of real estate. Probably only 25% will actually close. So we have to keep our fingers crossed, but at least $7 or $8 million in real estate will have been done over a 3-day period where people walk in with nothing, leave with something, and it's a lot of fun. This deal actually came from Success Reflex, not this weekend, but the last one about 30 days ago, and pretty interesting deal. The guy is sick, has a 60-unit building and hotel, motel. It's a weekly, nightly hotel. And I went to visit today, saw the rooms, went downstairs in the crawl spaces, saw a whole bunch of stuff, excuse me. And it's a pretty neat deal, excuse me, because number one is the net income is over $250,000 a year. Actually, the net income is over over $300,000 a year, and the seller basically wants $300,000 and to walk away. And we're basically just taking over his mortgage as well, which is at a very low interest rate. So had lunch with the seller today, and basically put a hotel deal together extremely creatively. They're very excited to sell. He wants to retire. He has to go to surgery. He's not doing very well. He's sick, as I said. And I'm going to show you the call in just a few seconds. So we're going to get started in just a minute. So Sam, good to see you. Yang as well, good to see you. Miss you a little bit. Cliff, always good to hear from you. I'm not sure who else is on the call today, but I'm sure you guys are as excited as I am to get this thing underway. So Andy, good to see you. Annick, toujours un plaisir. Bam Bang, good to see you. Carrie, Charlotte, Chris, Christiana, Cyril, always a pleasure. Graham, Jean-Claude as well, nice to see you. Kim, Leonida, Linda, many of you are there. Vicky, bonsoir as well. And, Mo, good to see you as well. And anyway, lots of the usual suspects are here on the call with us today. So I'm going to play this call, which is the Branson deal. As I said, it's a 60-unit hotel, which has weekly and daily rentals. He actually rents out about 50 units, which are weekly rentals, and he keeps 10 rooms open for nightlies. I never really knew how Branson is pretty much in the middle of the country, and it's more, I guess, on the central time zone. And it sees, according to Wikipedia, 7.5 million visitors per year, and the population is only 7,500. So it's quite a contrast of people that actually live there to people that visit. There's a huge lake system, which is extremely popular. There's shows. Apparently, there's 120 actual Broadway shows. They have more Broadway seats than on Broadway. And it's just a destination location. It's like a Vegas for families is what I was told it was. So it's pretty neat. And I wasn't aware of the popularity of it. And the more people I talked to, the more excited I became on this deal. I wasn't too much of a fan of it when I first looked at it, but now I'm actually pretty damn excited. So let's listen to the call and take it from there.
Hey Rick, how are you? I'm good, man. Sorry I'm calling a little bit late. I was just caught up on some thoughts and yeah, that's fine.
Hey Larry, it's Marco again.
Say again?
Sorry, I'm with my name is Marco. I'm with Vic. I'm his partner. Just saying that.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's partly my fault. We're late. We just picked up 140 units in Alabama, and I've been dealing with that all day. All sorts of
okay, no problem.
All sorts of bad apples that we're trying to weed out, and no one wants to take responsibility. So I had to fire 6 people today. So it's been quite a day. So forgive me.
That's no problem. Yeah. Get her done? Is it all done?
No, I still have a couple hours more to do that. It'll take 90 days to stabilize because we bought it from as an estate sale, and the monkeys were running the zoo, and everyone was taking money left and right, and it was just we got a great deal on it, but it's a mess, so we have to unravel it.
Yes, yeah. Sometimes they come that way.
Yeah. It's like a bag of coat hangers. That's what it is.
Yeah. I hear you. All righty.
So I wanted to first of all just introduce myself because I'm either myself or Vic is going to be coming in hopefully next week to come take a look at everything.
Good.
I wanted to see what day was best for you. Number one.
Wednesday's not good. I've got a veteran thing. I'm a disabled vet, and I've got a thing that's every Wednesday.
Okay.
Medical thing. Let's see. Otherwise, I don't think I've got anything. Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday. Monday, Tuesday probably be real good.
I hate to ask you, but would Friday work for you?
Not this Friday, but following.
Not this Friday coming up. The next Friday after that, I can try to make Monday. I have an appointment in Texas. What I might be able to do is go from Texas straight to you.
That'd be fine.
But I don't want to make. So sorry, guys. I'm actually negotiating the day that I'm going to be checking out the property. At this point, the property's already under contract, but I'm going to go over the terms in just a second. It gets exciting. I promise. Promise I can't keep. So I'll say Friday, and if I can do it beforehand, I'll let you know.
Okay. Let's sure. A week from this Friday. Okay.
A week from this Friday. Yeah.
All right.
Now I saw that you sent Vic a whole bunch of numbers. And I understand your privacy, and I don't want to pry into it as far as your bank account and all that stuff. Okay, so this is one of the problems that we had with this property. Is the guy doesn't want to really give us numbers at all. He has numbers as far as what was collected, but he doesn't really put a lot of it in his bank account. And I asked for bank account information to verify that money was actually being deposited. He kind of got bent out of shape, and I didn't want to lose the deal over it. So I'm trying to tiptoe around this issue of he already chewed Vic a new asshole for trying to ask about verification of income because that's extremely important. I can't tell you how many times I've gotten into a property and the income stated is not at all what the income is actually received. If I go into a property knowing that I'm probably into a shit show, then I'm excited about it because I like the problem. But if I'm expecting a turnkey issue or a turnkey property or something that's going to make income immediately, I want immediate gratification. I want to make sure that if I'm buying the property for a little bit lower of a cap rate, excuse me, if I'm buying it at the right price, I want to be able to verify that income to make sure it's actual verifiable, real income, no bullshit income. So I'm trying to figure out exactly how to tell him I really need to see these bank statements or these receipt books without really saying I need to see these receipt books so I'm not in the position of pissing the guy off and not actually getting anywhere. So here we go. I'm just trying to figure out how to verify the we try to get the verification of income done before we go, but I understand it's all done by hand or you have
Right,
some books.
Yeah.
And, yeah, so it's a little old
I
school.
do. Well, what I'm going to do is, if you come or Vic comes, I've got actually every one of my receipt books except for one I can't find yet. But that's why you saw that there's one about 30-day period in there in September of 15 that we can't. Something's happened to that receipt book, but you can interpolate from what we did in 16. You know, it's within $6,000 or $8,000 of what we did each year, and so it's. But yeah, but every receipt book you can see exactly how much money came in on January, how much came in on February, March, April, May, and that's exactly the numbers you got to see is the ones I sent you.
Okay. Yeah, we
If you sit down.
Yeah, we believe you. We just got to verify it. That's all.
I understand, yeah, and I have no problem opening those receipt books up to you and just go crazy. Whatever you want to look at.
That's exactly what we did, actually. Actually, let me see if I can do a screen share here. Again, I'm in an airport in Branson. If you can see my screen. Can you see my screen? I don't know if it's working or not. Maybe it might be. Can you see me yet? Here we go. Hello. All right, so here I have our written down scribble from the day with 2015's numbers and all of them combined. January 21,000, February drops down to 16,000, March it goes up to 18,000, 20,000, 22,000, 25,000, 31,000, 31,000. So every month goes anywhere from 32,000 is the highest, and 16,000 is the lowest on a monthly cash flow perspective. Now this is only for 50 out of the 60 rooms that he has. What he's done is basically taken 10 rooms and just said, you know what, I'm just going to keep that income on the side without incriminating him, but I think you might understand what I mean. And basically, he gets $49 a night times $49 a night times about 5 nighs times 10 rooms times about 30 weeks that actually happens. That's about right. He basically said he gets about 120,000 extra for those 10 rooms that are open. During the summer season, he actually jacks up the price because you can't find a room in Branson at all. It's totally full, and you can get up to $100 a night. So he figures about $100,000, $120,000 in extra income on top of the $250,000 that they're making now. So the income is closer to $370,000 or so, $375,000 on a property that we're basically buying, taking over the debt of $800,000 at 4.5%, extremely low, with $300,000 in paying over to the seller. So basically buying it for $1.1 million. I believe the interest rate is 4.5%. Vicky, if I'm mistaken, ping me on a text. You have the exact data on that. I'm at the airport. I don't have the actual mortgage docs, but I believe it's 4.5, 5%. It might be 5.5%, but it's extremely low. I'll have Vicky correct me on the exact numbers, but it's extremely low. So basically, it's a cash cow. You're basically giving $300,000 to the seller to make about $250,000 a year in passive income. It's almost getting your money back every single year, of which $100,000 is in complete cash if you want to keep it or you want to, process it however you want to do it. But it's a pretty sweet deal. So I always scratch my head as to why anyone would want to give up such a cash cow. If it's making so much damn money, why would you want to give it up? And let's get into that. Oh, you were saying? Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No,
You were saying?
No, I'm sorry. I'm just saying that we'll get a good look at the property. I'll show you everything. Things that I haven't talked to you guys about. I've got probably enough to outfit another motel. We've got this is kind of the lower level is the walkout level, and the basement is about 6,000 square feet, and it's all shop and storage. And our laundry's down there, and our shop's down there, and a bunch of storage, but I've got enough stuff in there to probably outfit most of another motel of this size. And every time I get a chance, I buy out other motels or do whatever. And so I've got everything from mattress pads and sheets and tables and chairs and toilets and I mean everything. It's all there. You'll never have to get. I've got extra water heaters, both natural gas and electric. I'll show you all that stuff, but I've got ceiling fans outfitted. I think there's 80 or 90 of them in there, and things like that.
Wow.
And so there's a lot of stuff there, and Debbie and I are going to do another motel, so I'm leaving everything. Everything will be there for you guys. You shouldn't have to buy things for quite a long time. And you could use them in another place if you want to do another place.
Okay, that's very nice of you. Thank you.
And there's no deferred maintenance to speak of. We just painted the whole building last fall, just before winter. We got done. The roof on it is 3 years old, and it's a metal roof. It's a 50-year metal roof, high quality metal roof. I put a new $1,600 natural gas water heater, and I had natural gas brought in. It was all electric when I got it, and I had natural gas brought in, and natural gas water heater and natural gas dryers for our laundry. And I've got an extra natural gas water heater sitting there too. So, and I've also still got an electric plumbed in case natural gas was to go to hell. Okay. Then all you have to do is open a valve and go with electric again until the natural gas got better.
Wow.
And but all that kind of stuff, I just I've done a lot of stuff to it, and a lot of because we planned on keeping it, but now I'm going into another back surgery, and that's kind of why I've been pushing a little bit, Vic, is because I'm waiting to do 2 different surgeries until we can get closed, so my wife don't have to deal with it. And so that's kind of the reason that I've been a little bit short on time frame, because that's I've actually got a broken vertebra in the middle of my back, it's L2, and so that's kind of why that's why we're going to take less money than it's worth. And I've also got a closing statement for another motel that closed about 3 weeks ago, and it's exactly the same. It was a sister motel to this one. They were built within a year of each other. That one was built a year before ours, and exact same motel, and just in another place in Branson. And it just sold for $1,531,000.
So there is actually,
and it closed for cash.
So it actually showed me the closing statement. I don't know how we got this, but so this is the hotel over here. It's 3 stories. Whoa, going way too far. So this is the unit over here. I can get this. Okay, maybe I can't open it this way. This is kind of interesting. The guy kind of goes out and buys a whole bunch of different things. But first, let me show you this place. So this is the back of the hotel here. It's actually pretty. So 3 stories, 3 stories. What the hell? Things aren't working like they're supposed to. All right. So this is. Sorry, guys. I'm not as smart as I look. I have no idea how to get rid of this image here, but whatever. All right, so there's the sort of the place. Looks pretty cool. There's the back. This is kind of interesting too. So listen to this.
Just get the electrician over here and just let him go crazy and put one in every room. 80 ceiling fans. There's 80 ceiling fans here.
All right, so there's 80 ceiling fans, 80 ceiling boards, 80 paddles. There's like 25 vacuum cleaners. The guy just has a whole bunch of stuff stockpiled to get things done. He has a whole other section with toilets. This is the toilet section. Thought that was pretty interesting.
Yeah, we had a real tree up this year in the office. Christmas.
So we got lots of toilets, lots of ACs.
Yes.
Those are what? Those are carpet pads.
Carpet and pads, both.
We've got extra tables and chairs. We've got washers and dryers.
Yeah.
We've got those.
We got it all. Yeah.
Doors, everything. So the guy has literally 80 pieces of everything stockpiled in the bottom of the hotel, which is kind of interesting. Where we can literally never have to replace anything again. He has a double redundancy for a water heater. If the gas fails, he has an electric one just in case. The guy has really done a good job at making sure the property is in tip-top shape. And again, the only reason he's selling this is because he has a serious injury. He can't lift anything that's more than 10 pounds. He could actually be paralyzed if he does. He has an actual split disc, not a disc, but an actual vertebrae. And he needs to get into surgery, and he just doesn't want to take a chance. And his wife is like, just sell the thing. Even though there's a comp at 1.51, this one is a newer property, and I actually went to see the other property. This one is in a little bit better shape, in a slightly different location. I'm not going to say it's worse or it's just different. It's a different location. And we're buying this for 1.1. So there's $400,000 in instant equity in this deal. And like I said, it's a completely assumable loan at a relatively low interest rate. We're paying the seller $300,000 to walk, basically see you later, sayonara. It makes $300,000 net in pocket, which basically means that you're getting your money back or just under your money back every single year, which is basically a nice doctor's salary with $300,000 in the deal. So it's pretty exciting deal. I'm not sure if anyone on this call would like to participate in this deal or a similar deal like this. We have tons of deals. I made a couple postings on Facebook. I'm getting unfortunately my students are getting so damn good at getting good deals. Sometimes money is we run out of cash. And if anyone has some spare cash and they go, you know what, I'd love to participate in a deal like this where I can get some extremely high returns, obviously after you do your due diligence and make sure that it's the right opportunity for you. If this makes sense, then by all means, you should hop on one of these deals and start making some cash too. It's a really great opportunity. If that's something that you'd like to do, definitely contact me and I'll show you how to plug yourself into a deal like this. If not, these bigger deals with 7 figures, these $1 million deals, generally very hard to make this kind of money. It's literally almost a 30% return, which is very rare on $1 million. This is extremely rarity to find such a good deal.
To get a hell of a deal with a mill 175 that you end up getting it. But Debbie and I are in a position right now where we need to get it gone.
You need to go. I understand. How'd you break your back, if I may ask? How did that happen?
Navy on a submarine. I'm a Navy nuke. It happened on a submarine in the U.S. Navy a long time ago. And they just never have got it right yet. They think they can get it right this time. I've had back surgery already, and they're going to have to do it again. So
I certainly hope it works out well. So
me too.
yeah, pain is never a good thing. My dad broke his hip, and it's not a break like in like if you cut the stick, break the stick in half. It's along the length of the stick. So it's like from the feet all the way down.
Mine's right down the center of the vertebra, and it's actually physically split in half and separated.
Oh my goodness!
And so it's what I'm doing right now is basically existing without lifting anything heavy. You don't lift and twist. You don't do anything like that because you can really screw it up.
Wow, man! I'm sorry you're going through that. That's terrible.
Well, it's what it is. Yeah.
Well, I look forward to meeting you on Friday. Are you managing everything, or do you have a team in place?
I've got a manager in place. Her name is Marge, and
I actually met Marge. She lives there in the back. There's 60 units, not including the where the person lives. So she lives there for free. She gets paid a extremely small salary. I'm talking a couple $100, if that, a week. So the management costs are very low. She's there 24 hours a day. She's been there for 10 years. And it's completely managed by this young lady. They have a safe in the premises for any cash that they get. She goes to the bank. This guy basically, it's completely hands off. It's extremely well managed. I went through all the books. I went through all the receipts. They basically, they're very meticulous in how they calculate everything. I'm actually shocked. I'm stunned. It's a very, very unusual finding a deal where, like I said, you can get $300,000 back for $300,000 in. It's basically 100% return. It's actually not quite because there's debt service, so it's probably about 250. It's probably about $50,000 to $60,000 in debt service and taxes. Actually, the tax already been included in the net. Sorry. So even if it was $200,000 on a $300,000 investment, I know it's more than that. It's still pardon the French, it's a fucking amazing deal. It's just incredible. I haven't seen a deal like this in a while. So hats off to Vicky. I think he nailed that to Success Reflex. Not this one that just happened, but the one before that.
Her and her daughter is in her, Marty's in her 50s, and her daughter Stephanie is in her probably 30s, and those two manage it together. And since we do 90% of our business as a monthly, weekly, monthly rental, we don't have to have a housekeeping staff because if a room comes open, they clean it, get it ready for the next person. And, it may have one this week, may not have any, may have three. You don't know. And but it's not like you have to have breakfast and do all that kind of thing. It's a real, pretty easy management situation for her. And she's really enjoying it. She's a good, honest lady, and it's hard to find. I don't know if just Branson, but Branson are hard to find here. So she's like gold to me.
Good help is always hard to find, no matter where you are.
Yeah.
It's
yeah, that's true.
50 years ago it was a lot easier to find a lot of good people. Now it's everyone's out for themselves. It's not the
same.
same.
Different generations and
work ethic isn't what it used to be.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I really look forward to meeting you, and either myself or Vic. I'm for sure coming. I'm not sure if Vic is able to make it. I have him.
Okay.
We're splitting up our workload between our projects, so we have to shoot full straws. I'm available. Hopefully he is as well. If he's not, I'll get to see eye to eye, belly to belly.
Okay, good. And then if you can make it sooner, that's great too.
Yeah, I'll do my best to make it Monday, but I don't want to promise you Monday and you show up Friday. That would be terrible.
Right. Yeah. Understand. Okay.
I appreciate it.
All right. We'll see you then.
Thanks so much. Take care. Bye. All right. Again, that was the final call before I met the seller today. He just sent me a text. Great to see you. Can't wait to close. Excited to get this transaction done. It's great. It's a great feeling to know that I'm going to be able to help him with his surgery. Now, again, most of us being non-U.S. citizens, like either Canadian or, I have quite a few Australians on the call. I have a handful of U.S. people. But in the U.S., you have to pay for your surgeries. If you don't have the money, you're kind of screwed. In most of the countries of the people that I help, it's free healthcare. Obviously, we pay for it in taxes with 50% tax bracket, but it's still people aren't selling off their assets that are cash cows to take care of their surgery. So I feel really bad for the guy, but he's happy to sell. He's excited. His wife is excited. And like I said, this is an opportunity where we can step in, give the guy $300,000 and make $250,000 a year passively for the end of time. And if we wanted to sell it, we could probably sell it, put it on the market immediately, and make a $400,000 profit right away. So there's $400,000 in immediate equity because we bought it for $400,000 under market, possibly $500,000 under market, and we have $250,000 in passive income coming in. So it's a pretty sweet deal. I'm pretty damn pleased at the result. And from there, I went to go see a RV park. And this is actually a pretty interesting deal and I think I might have played this a long time ago. I'm going to see if I can find the recording. And this is also a creative deal. Creative deals are where the money's at. It's really hard to find deals with real estate agents involved where there's not some creativity. I mean, where it's possible to be creative. The challenge with real estate agents, and I'm not criticizing agents in general, is they want to do something that's actually very easy, pretty straightforward. That's not too complicated, because if it's too complicated, it's going to confuse the broker, and if it's going to confuse the broker, there's going to be no there's going to be no commission for the agent. So it's let me just go through this and see if I can find 417 here. Hang on. That's the area code. No, this is not what I wanted to do. Sorry. I'm looking for this call here. Give me 1 second. My files.
The local time is 5
Excuse me. Here we go. Why is it doing it this way? It's not what I want to see. Why is this happening? All right, well, I'm, for some reason, not able to locate. Oh, here we go. Okay, let me see if I can do this way. Promise, it's coming. It's coming. I did this when I was in New York. 4-1. There we go. Is this it? 19. Second. This might be it here. I'm going to try this and see if it's this.
There's Larry, right? Larry, yeah. Larry.
No, this is not Larry. Sorry. That was. Give me 1 second. I promise I'm going to see if I can find this.
Maybe one more. What's your name?
Yeah.
Hi, man. My name's my name's Marco. You've been talking to Vic about a park for sale.
Yeah, the campground, right?
Yes. Is this a good time?
So I actually I met this seller as well. It's actually not a seller; it's an agent, and hell of a guy. Actually, I was quite surprised. Now this has been going on since January, so this is where I want to remind you that the fortune is in the follow up in this business. The fortune is not only in the follow up; it's actually knowing what the heck to do when you get to the point where you need to get it done. But the fortune is really in the ability to follow up, know what you're doing, obviously, and have really understand the tools that creative real estate can offer, and listen to how we're structuring this deal. Now, at this point, this RV park, which is just down the street from the hotel that we just got, by the way, this is now making $193,000 a year. That's the net, $193,000 a year, 193. Okay. Okay. So $193,000 a year.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, I have Vic with me. We're just crunching numbers and going over some things, and I have a little bit more experience than Vic does in this kind of class of assets. So I just want to ask you a couple questions before we look at everything that we need to look at. Okay. So is it purely a campground? Is it it's mostly RVs, or is it what's?
It's an RV park. It has one cabin on it that's rented out. That stays full. It has a mobile home. That's a long-term rental, monthly rental. That's full. 57 RV sites, I think.
And how? What's the percentage of occupancy or vacancy throughout the year, on average?
Well, summer months. Once in the summer, they have to turn people away because they're busy.
Okay, so I want to just talk about this. I went into the office today, and I'm always looking to see, why people are selling, what's going on. They're selling because they want to pay off a debt. They owe some people some money that they just promised to pay back, and they're actually making zero money on this transaction. So there's debt. There's debt to family members that they want to pay back, and then there's the agent commissions. And they're literally making zero money out of this deal. Now, the average price per night on a campground for the season is $50 per night, and they're charging $25 a night. So they're at half price of the second most expensive in the area. So their revenue is actually half of what it could be. Now, with that said, does it mean that if we double the prices that we won't have full occupancy? Well, they're turning people away, and people are literally driving around wondering where to stay, and they're not advertising at all. So there's a huge opportunity on this deal to not only make $193,000 a year, but increase at least $100,000 of revenue by increasing the prices. So there's all sorts of cash flows that they're not using. I asked them a series of questions on how they manage even power, because in RV parks you should make a small premium on power, which they're not doing. The laundry room, there should be a little bit of an income stream there. There's not. So there's all sorts of little things that they're not doing, that they're not seeing, that they're not participating in, that people will gladly pay for, that they're not doing. Ignorance is extremely expensive. You might think, hey, I know what to do, but by not doing the right things in your project, or seeing an opportunity where they're not doing all these cash flows, where hey, by doing extremely small things, not even doubling the price, just by slightly increasing revenues here and there, you can really make a huge difference to your bottom line, because it really is free money. It's found money if you do things right.
Sure. Like I went down there last week. It was about half full.
Okay. Are they plugged? And who handles management? Do they have a manager on site, or are the owners actively managing it?
No, they have a manager on site that lives there. The owners don't live there. They live in Arkansas. They come up once in a while to check on things.
I met the manager today. She had all sorts of ideas that the owner didn't want to implement. They're very conservative people. They're not aggressive at all. They've had the campground basically they just want to get out of it. They're not passionate about it. It's full, and I mean full from May until September, like jam-packed full. And listen, I'm going to ask you guys just a silly question. If you double the prices and are 75% occupied, are you making less money or more money than if you are full at the current rates? Which is a better business model? To double the price and be 75% full, or stay where it is and just be 100% full? Which one is better, guys? 75% is correct. Double is better. Carrie, you're right. Charlotte, you're right. First one is right. Vicky, double up is right. So we can literally double the prices and probably still be at 75%, and really do nothing at all other than that. And if it's another cash cow that's offered at a tremendous opportunity. Listen to these terms.
Just kind of, hanging out for a day or two, but it's pretty much hands off for them.
Okay, that's good news. And from a marketing perspective, are they in the RV network, or the RV networks or sites that send business to them?
They are in gosh, I don't remember the name of it. There's a gosh, I don't remember the name. There's more that can be done with marketing. Let's put it that way. Gotcha. They're kind of old school, especially with technology and that kind of stuff. It's basically word of mouth around the area, and that area stays busy. There's a lot of commercial type of stuff in that area. It's right on the lake, and it's just people see it on the road, and they come back every year, and
So it's repeat business. Gotcha.
Yeah, a lot of that, and then even in the winter months, it's somewhat cold down here, but Branson's busy enough to where it gets tourists down there, even in the winter, especially around Christmas time. But as far as any marketing online or anything like that, they don't really do much of that.
So there's some room.
So I think there is potential. There is room for improvement there, and there's also in the campground, there's also a lot of room for adding on to it. Like I said, you said that they make a lot of money off of the cabin. They rent it out for $100 a night. It stays pretty full throughout the year.
Yeah, so there's small little cabins. If you actually go on my Facebook, I sent everyone a little Facebook link. You can actually see a walkthrough of this park. And there's this little cabin on the right-hand side when you first walk in. There's also a restaurant that they rent out for $1,000 a month. That's where I met the agent. It was packed in there. So there's an opportunity there to and they also might want to buy that location. So there might be an opportunity to actually get some cash from selling that cabin instead of getting $1,000 a month. Not the cabin, but the restaurant. There's all sorts of cool little extra things we could do to make some extra cash in this. It's fun to watch this, and I know some of you get really stressed out over numbers. Some of you take this so seriously. You put the FU in fun, and it's got to be so serious. When you start having fun with this and look at this like it is, like this is just a real fun game of how much money we can make on a deal. It's a fun game as to finding where are we going to get the money from. It's a fun game of how can we do this deal with as little money out of our pocket as possible. Make it a fun game. Don't make it so damn stressful. And, some deals work, some deals don't. So what? Who cares? You move on to the next one and just have fun with it. And I think that's one of the big things that we got out of Success Reflex this weekend is many of the participants were just looking at this from an extremely tight-ass perspective. Like, why are you being just so stressed? Just have fun.
But they have room, he says, for probably 10 more cabins on the site.
Gotcha. Would that take away from the RVs though, or would that?
No, it's different. It's kind of in the corner, the northeast corner of the park. They didn't want to spend any more money on it, trying to build it up and knowing that they were going to sell it. And, so they're getting old. They live in Arkansas. They want to focus on their children's church deal. They just found out recently that they both got some health issues. So they want to sell it. They just want to be able to get out of it.
More health issues. I didn't catch that actually today or the first time I actually talked to them. This is one of the reasons I like recording my calls is I didn't even know they had health issues.
For it.
I understand. I get it. Makes a lot of sense.
They want to just be able to pay it off and then walk away from it.
Understood. And I understand they have about $1.2 million or so in loans.
Yeah, he wouldn't give me the exact amount, which is, to be honest, I'm kind of frustrated with that. But he thinks it's around 1.24.
Gotcha. Do you know how that? And I guess sorry. Go ahead.
He said he got about $850,000 loan with the bank.
So the $850 we're taking over.
And he's got some personal investors that lend him money when he bought it. Like I said, it adds up to about 1.24.
Okay, and then of course you have to be taken care of, so there's that too.
Yeah.
So they just want out from underneath it. They don't want to. They just want to pay off the loans and be done with it.
Yeah, they don't care if they make any money off it. They just want to walk away without being, in debt for the campground because they want to put more money into the children's thing that they're working on now.
I understand.
All right. So again, the park makes $197,000 right now a year, as is. We've agreed on 1.2 million. All right, 1.25 actually. So if we do 197 divided by 1, all right, you're looking at a 15 cap right now. We're taking over the first mortgage. There's only 8 years left on the loan, which means this thing is paid off in 8 years. It's on an accelerated amortization schedule. There's only 8 years to this note, meaning that the payments we're taking over, but this thing is going to be a cash cow in 8 years. So look at this as an 8-year retirement plan, where you're still making money every month, you're still making some cash, and then in 8 years when that mortgage payment is gone, it's all gravy. It's all in your pocket. What a great, it takes 30 years to pay something off generally, and now we're going to do this in 8? Amazing.
They're happy to just break even.
Understood.
Don't you hate sellers that just want to break even and are selling at a 15 cap, that are selling literally at a great, and owner financing it, and, we're getting in as light as we can? Isn't that a terrible deal? Anyone here want this deal?
Do you have any information on the first mortgage or, how long that mortgage has been in place?
Well, they bought it in 2013, so imagine
it's a newer loan.
I can find out.
It's a newer loan.
I can find out. Yeah, it is. But they pay $81,000 a year on it.
It's a 10-year am. They do it 10 years. They bought it in 13, so 7 years left.
Sure, how long of term it is. I know they pay 6% on it.
So it must be a 10-year. It must be over a 10 or 12 year or 15-year am. because that's a high payment. That's
Yeah.
80 grand a year. That's 6%.
Yeah, that's what I mean. That's a high payment.
That's an extremely high payment.
Right.
Did they start at 850? I'm just curious, or is that what they owe us to pay off now, or did they start at 900 as a loan and then paid off? Trying to figure out what they've paid off. The reason I ask is this asset in a LLC? How is it titled? Do you know if it's in their name or in an LLC?
You know, I don't know that.
Because the reason I ask is the reason I ask is if they've paid 3-4 years at a very short amortization schedule, they've paid off a lot of the interest, and
Right.
principal's coming up next. And if we could step in by the LLC, pay off their loans, pay you off your commission, it'll save us having to come to the table with an extra $800K. Just leave the debt there, and we can probably make it happen pretty quickly. We've done that tons of times. So if we can figure out how, if we can buy the corporation or the LLC or the asset, it also save us on closing costs, and you still get paid. Of course, everyone's happy. It comes out to the same thing, just a little bit better for us. Means we can pay more than what we were wanting to pay normally. So if you can figure that out, then we can. All we have to do is figure out where to send the $500,000, get the attorneys to put the paperwork down, and make everyone happy.
Okay, that sounds good. Let me. How do you want me to get a hold of you?
All right, so then we go into some contact details, but we ended up doing a deal that's a little bit more creative than what I originally. This was done originally. That call was done on the 17th of January, so this is about a month ago. Interesting. So about a month ago is when this deal started, and it's incubated now. So some of these deals do take time, but the beauty of this is, like I said, it's a cash cow that's paid off in about 8 years. And that's extremely exciting because the first was a 12-year amortization schedule. They've paid off 5. There's 8 years left and 7 years left, and that would be pretty damn awesome. So it's really the money is not only in the follow up but the creativity. And I encourage you, if anyone has not been on these calls for a while, to keep listening. So you can learn a little bit. Obviously, the best way to learn is by doing things. Some learn by watching, but the best way to learn is actually by doing. And if you really want to speed up your doing cycle, I highly recommend coming to Success Reflex. The last one that I'm doing for a little while, I usually do one a month. I'm going to do one March 17th, 18th, and 19th, and then I'm not doing one in April, and I might not do one in May. I have some other commitments that are coming up, and I'm gonna stick to those. And so if you guys are wanting to attend, probably the last Success Reflex that you can come until the fall, because in the summer I take off for Europe for 2 months. So if you guys really want to learn how to do this and really want to commit to how this has to be done, and me basically slap you silly to get results, contact me, and I will kick your ass so you get results, because that's really ultimately the ultimate goal is results. Nothing else matters. You can learn as much as you can want. You can be on these calls every single week. You can say, Marco's amazing. These students are amazing. Man, they're making so much money, but who cares? Why aren't you making the money? There's plenty of deals out there. You just have to put your name on them. You have to learn the skills necessary in order to get there. And, this isn't like porn. I don't want you to just watch it. I want you to participate in this. This is your life. This is your destiny. There are people that you want to take care of in your life, including yourself and your family. And the only way to do that is by start participating and doing it, not watching other people doing it. Okay? So last one I'm doing that's on the books right now is 17th, 18th, and 19th of March, which is next month. If you want to participate in that, send me a quick email, kembotrust@gmail.com. I sent you all my Facebook link earlier as well, so you can watch some of the properties that I've talked about today. Again, here in Branson, Missouri. And I'm looking forward to hopefully meeting some of you that I have not had the opportunity to work with yet, for you to learn, for you to dive in, for you to see how it works, and best of all, for you to have an asset that's paying you every single month for the rest of your life, to the tune of, maybe it's $10,000 a year, maybe it's $100,000 a year, maybe it's $300,000 a year. Whatever the number is, it doesn't matter. It's achievable if you just focus, if you just have the right guidance, and if you make it happen. So guys, thanks for being on the call. I look forward to and doing it. And Norman is asking, can you do it from ground zero, Success Reflex? The answer is absolutely. Most people bring, like I said, it's all Success Reflexers come with zero, and they leave with deals in hand. It's just how it works. So you walk in with zero, you walk in with deals in hand. My email address is kembotrust, KEMBO, trust@gmail.com. KEMBO, K as in Kozlowski, Elliot, Mercedes, Bentley, and Oliver, trust@gmail.com. All right. So guys, thanks. Thanks for being on the call. If you have some extra cash lying around in an RSP or some retirement funds, or have some cash or a line of credit, and you want to just destroy the income that you're making now from that, if you want to borrow from a line of credit at 3% and make well over 10, 12, 13, 14, 15%, let me, if you want to participate in this hotel deal, we're looking for partners on that. And mobile home parks, we have some mobile home parks as well, some small ones that we can send over your way. If you have a little bit of capital and a little bit of knowledge, you can do a lot of damage. So I'm looking forward to making sure that you guys are on the right track. So send me an email if you guys have some stuff that you want to play with. I'm happy to include you in some of these deals. Or if you want your own deals, come to Success Reflex. It's at my house, 17th, 18th, 19th. It's the last one I'm doing for a little while. I'm going to take a break after that. I've got too many deals in the pipeline. I need to relax. It's driving me crazy in a good way. I just can't. I just can't. I just have to take care of the people that are taking care of themselves before I start adding more people into my schedule. So this is going to be the last one that I'm doing, 17th, 18th, and 19th, until the people that have the deals now are stabilized, and then I can actually focus on some new people. Okay? So I look forward to seeing you at Success Reflex and or in my email, kembotrust@gmail.com. Guys, thanks for being on the call today. Always a pleasure. Sorry about last week's snafu, but, shit happens like anything else. So, guys, thanks for being on the call today. Love you a long time. Have a wonderful evening, and take care. Bye-bye.